These are the most immersive add-ons for World of Warcraft that I think you guys should give a chance. Number 1. Voiceover AI. Let us start this video off with an add-on that's gonna blow your mind if you have not heard of it already. Now, most of you guys probably have, but guys, this is voiceover AI. Now, I am gonna be forced to disappoint you guys a little bit here because this add-on is for classic World of Warcraft only. So if you're a classic WoW fan, check this out. What does it do though? Well, what voiceover AI does is it makes every quest in the game fully voice acted. Just give this a listen.
I hate those nasty timber wolves, but I sure like eating wolf steaks. Bring me tough wolf meat and I will exchange it for something you'll find useful.
Now, before you guys get too excited about this, there are some weird voices out there, as you can imagine, since it is all AI generated. Thrall's introduction speech to Horde players is a good example of this.
All members of the Horde are equal in my eyes, adventurer! Unacceptable!
But for the tremendously vast majority of NPCs, this add-on works incredibly, and it adds a whole new layer of immersion to the game if you're not somebody who really likes reading quest text. I actually covered this add-on in greater length in my dedicated voiceover AI video, which is linked up above on your screen right now, if you want to learn a little bit more about this add-on and how it works. But let's hop over to the second add-on on our list, and that is number 2, Immersion. There's a few add-ons out there that really seek to make the questing experience more immersive in terms of how quest text is initially displayed to you, the player. And Immersion is one such add-on. As you can see, Immersion creates these small dialogue windows that pop up on your screen, laying out all the dialogue of an NPC that you encounter. You even have these selectable tabs on the right-hand side, which allows you to select whatever you want to say to the NPC, like turning in a quest or selling an item or just whatever. I also really appreciate that this add-on removes the HUD whenever you talk to an NPC. That's a nice little detail. It's awesome, and it really pulls you into the conversation. And the best part is this add-on works for all versions of World of Warcraft, okay? Whether you're a War Within player, a classic WoW player, everyone can be happy with this add-on. Although I do admit that Immersion is not my favorite add-on that does this whole interaction thing. You'll see my favorite one here soon later on in the video. Number 3. Dynamic Cam. Let's talk about a camera add-on, which I think deserves a spot on this list. And what better camera add-on is there than Dynamic Cam? I know a lot of you guys are probably tired of that standard WoW camera look and position being behind your character, and that's where this add-on comes in. With this add-on, you can alter how exactly the in-game camera is positioned behind your character, creating this much more visually pleasing look to World of Warcraft that really helps pull you into the game and the world all the more. Maybe you want your game to look more like Gears of War while you're running around, or maybe you want the camera to zoom in on your character while you're looking at a mailbox, or behave in this entirely new way when you walk into a city, or, you know, to give you a greater sense of scale or something. For me personally, I've always used Dynamic Cam to change how my camera works whenever I interact with certain things in the world, like objects or when I go to the auction house, but that's just me. It's a really small thing, but you would be surprised at how much cooler finding a treasure feels when Dynamic Cam zooms in and makes the opening of that treasure experience all the more epic. Number 4, Storyline. So this add-on is very similar to Immersion in how it works. It's the same principle. You walk up to an NPC and you are given this unique window of the interaction, but as you can see, Storyline is a lot more advanced and a lot more detailed, showing both your character as well as the NPC facing each other and talking. This sort of interaction, it reminds me a lot of how the dialogue worked in Guild Wars 2, which probably was the inspiration behind this add-on, maybe. And that's not even a complaint. I think it looks amazing being able to select dialogue options, as well as being able to see your character and the NPCs emoting at each other. But this one is still not my favorite kind of add-on that falls into this kind of NPC interaction category. We'll get to that later, but before we go any further in this list, I do have to tell you guys about another add-on called Zygor. Zygor is this channel's sponsor, and it is World of Warcraft's ultimate guide add-on, helping you level faster, helping you get gold, earn achievements, get mounts, pets, whatever. It is linked down below in the description. You can check it out completely for free with their free trial. And if you do really like it and you decide that you want to give Zygor a proper shot one day, feel free to use code NIXIUM for 20% off. Let us continue. Number 5, total roleplay. Now, I know from the name that many of you are just going to skip over this point, but really hear me out here. Total roleplay isn't just necessarily for role players, although they of course will get the most use out of it. In TRP, you can pretty much define your entire character and what makes them unique in terms of their personality. You can determine your character's alignment, how chaotic or lawful you are, how gentle or brutal your character can be. You can even include an entire character backstory that you can customize with images, fonts, and so on. It's really cool. Give yourself a nickname or unique titles that are not found in the game, as well as first glance traits that people would immediately notice about you when they encounter you in game. TRP is a fantastic way to help you define who you really are in the world, especially in those down moments, maybe when you're on a flight path or walking somewhere very far away. And the best part is when you're in game, you can see other people's TRP profiles, their nicknames, their traits, and so on. So it really is an amazing add-on if you want to meditate on just who you really are as you adventure through Azeroth. Number 6, Narcissus. So here's the thing about Narcissus. At first glance, it just appears to be nothing more than a simple character panel overhaul add-on, but that is where you are wrong, because this add-on is one of the best add-ons in the game for adding a new level of immersion to your gameplay experience, and here's why. So I'm a dungeon master in D&D, and sometimes I dream of creating dioramas of my players' models and their battles with particular bosses or major events from the story. And that's a lot of work, as you can imagine, building the terrain and painting the models and so forth. But like, what if you could do something like this in WoW for your character? Create cool cinematic scenes in-game using your character model along with others. Well, that is the power of Narcissus. Yeah, it's an awesome overhaul add-on to your character panel, but it's also an amazing add-on for creating incredible looking screenshots and custom scenes from your character's adventures to make them all the more memorable. At least that's how I use Narcissus, but that's just me, you know, creating these little custom screenshots and stuff. If nothing else, it's just a really cool tool that I think you guys should certainly check out. All right, and now at last we have reached the last add-on on this list. Throughout this whole video, I've been talking about my favorite immersive add-on for questing in World of Warcraft. If you guys have liked this video, and if I've mentioned an add-on that you maybe haven't tried yet, or maybe you think, yeah, that's a really good add-on that needs more exposure, if you guys could give the video a like, it would be very much appreciated. And so I'm happy to share with you guys Dialogue UI. So we have seen two other options for this more immersive questing approach, and although I do really enjoy those other two on the list, this one is my favorite, Dialogue UI. And I like it because of its simplicity. When you approach an NPC to talk to them, there is the zoom in effect that we've seen before, the borders around your screen become darkened, your HUD disappears, everything we've seen before. But with Dialogue UI, you get this kind of cinematic looking effect. And if you're playing classic WoW, combine this with voiceover AI mentioned earlier in the video, and this works beautifully. You can see what I mean with like the scroll appearing on the side with the NPC's dialogue and stuff. I just think this looks so clean. There's even these other effects when you pick up objects like scrolls or something, giving to you this parchment looking effect, which I just think looks awesome. Now, yeah, you don't get to see your character and the NPCs emoting at each other like in Storyline, but Dialogue UI, it just looks so clean and crisp. I don't know, this one's my favorite. I can't help but love it, and I think that you guys should give it a try. Dialogue UI might be my favorite immersive add-on, but if you want to know what my favorite zones in World of Warcraft are, you should click the video on your screen right now, because in this one, I'm going over the best zones in this game. Check it out, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon.